business of politics, and we are talking about women in politics here, and not any other politics but Liberian politics. Lena is a Liberian born, uh, powerful woman, and she has been paying attention a little more about things that have been unfolding. She has unique idea of the players, so she have been paying attention, but her emphasis here is about the role of women in Liberian politics. We got five tough questions for her, saying we know her to be a very tough lady and who doesn't shy away from throwing punches when necessary. And so, folks, stay tight, share the show. We are getting started here. Lina, my first question here is, how do women generally feel about the following in Liberia? One, politician. Are they crooks and hustlers, betrayers, or desperados, or all of the above?
I'm sorry, but I'm gonna have to say they're all of the above.
And
They're
why
all
you
of the
say
above.
that?
Well, I think, women normally are very silent when it comes to discussing these things amongst, like, as far as politics, they would mostly discuss this type of stuff amongst themselves.
Hmm.
And you rarely see them come out in our society to make statements about politicians
Hmm.
and that carry out these types of traits due to the, I would say, intimidation, the fear of either being physically or verbally abused.
Hmm.
And this is why I feel we as women need to empower them to come out, to speak out the ills and wrongs about these types of politicians, because it affects these women directly. All these things that are going on in the country affects them directly.
Hmm.
So therefore, what is most needed, I feel, is our female leaders, advocates that will come out with them to encourage them not to be silent about the ills and wrongs and to seek justice for all women in Liberia. And if you notice in every election, if you're not aware, because I don't know how often you go back and forth, but in most of these elections that take place in every county, you have a woman leader,
Hmm.
and this woman leader is the person that who is basically the political guru,
Hmm.
and she has politics down packed. She's politically inclined, and they use her, this particular woman, during their campaign time, and after the campaign is over, she's forgotten about. And then what for me, I feel these women who are being used in these different counties should not just be used during election time. These women are very powerful, and not only powerful, but they can be used for more than that, because they can make a huge difference if they are actually empowered and educated.
But Leonard, you said out of above to the first segment of my question, and that was, are the politician crooks, hustler, betrayers, and desperado? And you said all of the above. So give me, what make you think that they are desperados? Show me some examples of desperados behavior or betrayers they have exhibited and crooked behavior they have exhibited.
Well, I don't know. I don't want to go into any kind of details here to get myself in any kind of, because remember you said I throw the punches. I don't want anyone throwing punches at me, if you understand what I'm saying. So I would prefer to refrain from going into any kind of explicit details, because the focus here is women. And I want to send a clear message this evening to the
And I
women of
just want to
Liberia.
know how the women feel. That was
Well,
the
of
silver
course they
lining
feel
of the
horrible.
question. How do
They feel
women feel
they,
about these politicians? And I asked the question, are they crooks? Are they hustler? Are they desperado? And you said all
yes,
of the above.
yes, all of the above,
Okay.
all of the above. But because politics
Hmm.
is a topic that you would normally not hear in that republic
Right.
coming out of a woman's mouth publicly, because we need to create more women leaders, advocates that will be able to come out with them to be able to hear them speak and make their points made. Today,
Hmm.
if any woman was brave to even think of doing something like that, she would be either attacked physically or verbally. So this is why we need to find women like myself who would be able to walk with these women in the streets or to sit on powerful platforms to be able to tell them you are wrong and to point out the ills and the wrongs.
All
And
right.
this is why the Empress Mindset is the type of organization that the Liberian women need to follow, and we join hands to unite, promote, collaborate, and empower one another.
Thank you. And then let's come to the other segment of my first questions. We talk about
Yes.
politicians. We want to know now how you women, Liberian women, feel about politics. Do you see politics as a waste of time or effort by men to just grab power, or is it effort by men mostly for change, or same old, same old?
Uh, Anthony, I'm so sorry, but what I'm trying to say, it's not that we find it foolish or waste of time,
Hmm.
but until Liberian women realize the level of their greatness
Hmm.
and they understand the weight of their importance in our society,
Okay.
I don't think that this question is a question I'm going to let slide. I'm going to give you my honest opinion.
Hmm.
Every time a woman shies away and feels that she has to give a man the lead,
Hmm.
she's not only reducing the power of the Liberian woman, she's
Okay.
reducing the power of all Liberian women. So therefore, we do not find politics foolish. We do not find politics nonsense. We are very, very aware of what is happening. But because of the intimidation and because of the mindset of the way the country is structured, you find that women are more quiet and they're not speaking out publicly because of fear and intimidation.
You talk about intimidation. Who is intimidating you? The man?
But if you give the man the upper hand, how will you not feel intimidated? You have women who are more qualified, who have the qualifications, the experience more than a man. But automatically, when you go into a position and you don't make use of your position because you feel he's the boss, he's the leader, he's the chairman, he's the MD, automatically you're giving him the upper hand to make him know that he has power over you.
It's also that women feel a little more inferior to compete against their male counterpart, that putting them like in the back of the bus, or is it because the men are trying to show their muscles all the time? Because you are in majority though.
We are in the majority, and I'm totally in agreement with you on that.
Hmm.
But today, our society is set up in such a way that a lot of women prefer to stand in the back and allow these men to bulldoze their way to remain in the front.
Hmm.
So it's a mindset, and again, it goes back to what we said: your attitude and your behavior. I personally, Linda K. Fawaz, if I went into an organization to work and my boss was a man, I would never allow him to intimidate me because I have a very demanding presence and I'm not I am a force to reckon with. I am not someone that allows anyone to take advantage of me. But certain women, because they haven't had that training and they're in that environment and the mindset is the same mindset that they were raised in, they would automatically shy away and accept the injustice.
All right. Again, folks in cyberspace, you are watching Focus on Liberia on our program, The Hour of Politics, with me, Anthony Sie. Our guest for today is Lina K. Fawaz. She is the founder of Express Mindset, and she is here. Empress Mindset.
Empress
Thank you for that
mindset.
beautiful correction. She is the founder of Empress Mindset. It's an institution funded to advocate for girls and women issues, and she is here in the hot seat discussing politics in Liberia, women's role in politics for that matter. All right, Lena, let's come to our second questions here. A question here: have the fewer women who held or hold political offices in Liberia any different from their male political counterpart?
How will they be different
Yeah, are
when
they
their
any
father,
different? Yeah.
no, when their fathers, brothers, cousins, and husbands are in power and they are dancing according to their rhythm? There can be no change because they see no wrong. If you're benefiting from your father, brother, cousin, or husband, how will you see any wrong in this person? And even if they were to even see the wrong,
Mhm.
they would be too afraid to come out and speak. They would lose everything. You would lose your husband, you could lose your brother, you could lose your cousin, you could lose your father. So most of these women here are subjected to just business as usual. There, and where would they end up going to? Where is there any institution in that republic that would actually have anywhere for redress? It's if they are even if they're in the right again. This is why I would say the empress mindset is very important for the empowerment of women.
And
Because
Leonard,
today, this is a yes.
can we first agree on one thing that women
Mhm.
have a role to play in politics? Can we agree on that?
Oh, yes, we can
Okay.
agree on
And
that.
then my next question is, which is the tough one for you to swallow? Are the women playing their role the way they should play it?
But Mr. Sia, I mentioned
Hmm.
they're not playing their role in the
Okay.
manner in which they should be playing their role.
Okay.
Today, we elected a man who is by far a chief feminist. He's empowered a lot of women in his government. I applaud him for that. He sees
And
the
do you believe
importance
why
and
he
the
said that
significance.
he's a chief feminist? You believe that?
Oh, oh yes, I see. I know him personally. He's a friend and a big brother. I don't know him on a political level, but I know him on a personal level, and he's a true gentleman. And he sees the importance and significance of women. I see some of the key positions in the country are being held by women, and I applaud him for that. And at the same time, I will say this to you: women today, because of this mindset of envy, jealousy, backbiting, and in this continued fight that goes on normally between females, if we don't break this vicious cycle, we will continue to be overtaken by the men. And like you
Are you suggesting that women are themselves a problem in this fight
to one
for?
another,
Yeah,
to one
okay,
another.
okay.
Yes,
And so
yes.
let's come to this. This is very important. Um, there have been women in politics, and if we all should agree that we need more women in politics, then the few who have had the opportunity won't be of much better example compared to their male counterparts, so as to open or pave the way for another woman to see reason to come there and make the change. We have Ellen, now we have Joel. I don't know if they are making that mark to the satisfaction of you women. Is that a fair statement?
Well, let me explain something to you about politics.
Okay.
And this goes also for the men.
Hmm.
Many people rise to high level political positions,
Hmm.
but there's a difference of how you rise and when you rise.
Hmm.
Are you coming in to impact and empower your people, or are you coming in as a political figure? Because if you're coming in as a political figure, it's like a woman going to the hair salon and fixing her hair and polishing her nails just to look pretty.
And
So
walk away.
if you're coming in to serve your people,
Hmm.
you would definitely make an impact and you would definitely know how to empower your people. But if you're coming in for show and tell and to just say you did it and you were able to do it, I'm sorry, I've answered the question for you. Not much will get done.
Thank you. And I like the way you pull it, and that brings to my mind the role of Vice President Joel Howard Taylor. Now she is the head of the Senate by virtue of her position, and
Mm-hmm.
at some point she got to realize that, and she said, "I'm going to work. I will make sure the Senate now have teeth to bite." And then she went to work. She holds a consequential position, and at some point she was crying baby. This is a mother who understands that she can make that impact. So that speaks to why you were saying if they only want to be political figure, I mean, then nothing is going to change. But if you are
This is
there to
this is a
serve,
woman.
yeah.
This is a woman that came into politics
Hmm.
through luck. She married President Taylor. He gave her prominence. Um, he had to leave politics.
Hmm.
He exited through
Right.
the back door,
Hmm.
and she wanted to continue. He gave her the opportunity. The platform was there. and she went in to become senator in Bon County.
Hmm.
Mind you, this is a woman that I followed all throughout before she became his wife. And she was one of those women that I admired and I loved with all my heart. She was my icon.
Hmm.
I saw her as a victim, and I appreciated her and admired her for years. She was someone I loved. Today, I have a different opinion of her, but that's another topic for another day. Um, and I don't want to go into that because we're here to discuss women in politics in Liberia and not just one woman.
Hmm.
But yeah, and I think all of that got to her head, and she has this mindset of entitlement. No, because she felt that this man gave her so much prominence. She got to see wealth that she had never grew up with. So all of this for me has played a major role in her downfall. They sometimes forget that you are elected to serve. You're not elected to collect salaries and to enrich yourselves and to walk around thinking you're God's greatest. When you come in as an elected person, you have to serve your people.
Hmm.
Today, I know her very well. I know her personally. This is a woman I called Auntie for many years. And if Mr. Weir wants to be fair, I was one of those that spoke and whispered loudly in his ear that this is the woman that will take you to the finish line. I said today we were the first to elect a woman in Liberia to lead, and we have never had a woman to be vice president. This woman has over 20 years of political experience, and she has the know-how. She's an excellent public speaker, and she's a lady. And this is somebody I feel you should definitely consider.
And and
And he
and
smiled.
yeah. And Lena,
He
quickly,
smiled.
sorry for
Yes.
interrupting you, but I just wanted to ask quickly. So, are you trying to suggest that Joa is just collecting her salaries and not up to the task here?
I think that's what you're saying. But what I'm trying to explain to
That's
you,
what I'm asking.
no, you're asking me.
Hmm.
Well, as far as I'm concerned,
Hmm.
one of her major problems,
Hmm.
and I will tell her this without even stammering, she needs to understand that it just can't all be about her.
Okay.
Today, you took a role to be the running mate to a man who has no knowledge of politics, but because he was someone who left Liberia from an environment where no one imagined he would have reached where he reached. And he was, from birth, he was destined to be great. But in Liberia, nobody saw his greatness. It was when he left Liberia, this man became a reference. He was a reference point for the Republic of Liberia. Anywhere you went, if someone met you, the first person's name that would come out of their mouth, George Weah, George Weah. I've experienced it. I've lived in Europe. I grew up in Europe. I grew up in the United States of America. I'm a world traveler. This is a man that has made a big name for himself internationally. So I don't really think his coming into the presidency was something about, self as far as I want to be important. He was already important. He's a legend. This is a man that's respected everywhere. Today, politics is definitely not his thing. He knows nothing about politics. Um, and I think a lot of times when I hear people criticizing and attacking him, it hurts me because he's a friend and a brother, but he's not a politician. He knows nothing about politics. Jewel,
Why is it hurting you? Are you taking it personal? He occupies a public position, so he's subject to
I
criticism. Why should it
agree.
hurt you?
I agree. I agree. But what I'm trying to explain to you, because when you know somebody on a personal note and you hear people saying horrific and malicious things, it will bother you. If I today befriend you after this show, there will be no way I will sit in the company of people or be in any situation where your name is being used in any manner that I feel is unfair, and I will not speak against it. So I don't want to go into that personal part now. But as far as Joel is concerned, you had the best teacher. You were trained by a man who fought a revolution. And he chose you out of all the women. He made you first lady, the mother of the nation. So you got a closer look at how politics is played and done. So
All right.
today, I think I know where you're going with this. Her interview with Rodney Sie. Um, I was kind of shocked because I didn't think that she would go to that extent. But sometimes people, when they get out of hand, they become desperate and they do things that maybe later on they regret. Because after this interview, the last thing the Liberian people expected was some of us was to see her on a stage dancing with President Weah, to born to win. So if it's either you on one side or the other side. I mean, so as far as I'm concerned, when you are elected, she of all people has more political experience than President Weah. There's a
Lena,
way, yes,
Leonard, earlier when I asked you about whether male politicians are like desperados, hustlers, and betrayers, and you agreed with me that they were all of the above. And I'm glad you brought that interview thing up. You are very smart. I was going to go there. And Joelle admitted that at some point she felt like quitting because of the treatment, humiliation that she was receiving from her male counterpart in government. But she won't,
Jewel.
let me learn, she won't quit. So is she a desperado as well?
Well, I don't know. All I'm trying to say, Jewel Howard
Okay.
Taylor is a politician.
Mhm.
President Weah is not a politician. Jewel knows what politics is about. And she knows the good, the bad, the sweet, the bitter, the dirty, the clean. She's a trained politician and she had the best teacher. And one thing I must commend her for, she's an excellent master manipulator. She's the type of person she would get anything she wants out of anyone. She would bring it either through a spiritual platform or her victimizing, I'm a victim. And she's
But
good at that.
she was crying baby.
But that's what I'm trying to explain to you. She's a master manipulator and she knows how to play the role of a victim when she's actually the victimizer and she's actually the manipulator. But I think with Mr. Weah, President Weah, excuse me, she met her match. He's a smart guy. This man, regardless of him not being too politically inclined, he traveled the world. He's a big boy. He knows how certain things should play out, and I think there were certain things that she thought he didn't pay attention to, but she's of opinion that he's listening to others. No, people watch you by the things you do.
All right.
This is a big boy. He doesn't need anyone to tell him or to give him any opinion about anyone. He knows exactly who everyone is.
All right. Ellen Johnson Sirleaf comes to mind talking about Liberian women in politics. She
Mm-hmm.
captured the world. She have even given hope to those who didn't even believe in her or who didn't like her. And so she enjoyed relatively peace in Liberia during her administration. And the highest and biggest support ever in the history of the country. She having
Mm-hmm.
to be a woman. And there's this saying that, women are more compassionate because the feeding of a woman to a child uh, always surpass that of a man, some people believe. And so that Liberia will have experienced a much better development. That did not happen. She having to be a woman. So how can women in politics claim that they might be of better hand or have a better hand in handling the issues that affect us all compared to their male counterpart?
Well, Mr. C, I mentioned to you when we started this conversation a few minutes ago,
Mhm.
Mrs. Sharif came in as a politician, of course, but I don't really think in the way things were handled and the way the country is looking right now. And during her era, she came as a public figure. This woman made headlines. She shook the whole world. She set the world on fire. So you inherit a country that's coming from war and systems that are broken. You made it known in your first inauguration, in your speech, that you will only employ people who have integrity, dignity, honor, respect. And, sometimes we may think we know people and they might have things hidden that we don't know about. But as far as I'm concerned, this woman today remains an untouchable figure. Her name is in every history book of the world. I was privileged to be on a flight with her right after President Weah's inauguration. I sat in the first class next to her and her deputy chief of staff, Clarence Moniba, whose father was former vice president of Liberia during the Doe era. Um, I felt sorry for her. There was not a person that was not on that flight that did not come to her and beg her for a photograph. This woman is a legend. I mean, she's a public figure that will never be forgotten. So I don't think her mindset of becoming the first woman to lead in Africa was to really come per se to save the Liberian women or girls. I don't know her personally. I like her, but she, from just being in her midst, she's sure of, she's confident, she's sure of herself, but she's not the type of woman that I got the feel of that would sit and think, I want to empower this person or I want to support this person. She's about herself. She's, she's like the rest of them. She's selfish, and it's about her. It's about her. It's about her.
Thank you. It's about her. It's about her. And because it was more about her, if I'm getting you right, she could not do much better than we expected. Again, folks in cyberspace, you are watching Focus on Liberia on our program, The Hour of Politics, with me, Anthony Sia, your host. My guest is Lina K. Fawaz of the Empress Mindset. She is the founder of that institution that advocates for women and girls issues, and she is in the hot seat here on the Hour of Politics. Folks, we are here and we are discussing the role of the Liberian woman in politics, of Liberian women in politics. Let's come to our other questions here. Before we leave, let's say this. Will you disagree if I say women in politics have been more of political accomplices to their male politician?
Well, I will agree with you on this. Let me tell you why I'll agree. I'm
Mhm,
here to defend my women
mhm,
and to show them that they have me on board to be a part of this fight.
mhm.
But I will definitely agree with you because I feel they have not done anything different from the status quo of the men in power. Nobody hears about them and nobody sees their achievements. The only time these women are really seen or barely heard is when the president makes public appearances and they all come out in their best dress to impress and show off. Okay. So for me, this is why I want to be able to use my platform of this Empress Mindset
Mhm.
organization to basically uh, make it like as a reality to changes that women to change the reality of women's mindsets in the political arena, if you understand where I'm coming from.
Right.
And I say this to you because we make up half of society. Okay, we have excelled in every field, we have proven ourselves, and uh and it's like, and we've made an impact in the world, but yet and still, and it's like the world has seen all of this, but we have refused to demonstrate our qualities, which would serve as a check and balance to our male counterparts. This is where we're going wrong. So that's why I will agree with you. The problem with our women is we, with the time we're supposed to make noise and to be heard, we're busy. Oh, the president can. Oh, the president. No, you need to be prepared that even if he's president of Liberia and he's a man, but we were the first to elect a woman to lead in Africa. So therefore, no man should be equal. When I say equal, should be in any way intimidating to us. We all are equal, and we all have we it's about having it and owning it. You can do it, so own it. If you understand, if you listen to my video in the message,
Mhm.
I ended by saying, you have it, so own it. Why do we still have this mindset that the man is the man and he's in the lead? If we today elected the first woman in the world to lead, and she prepared this platform for us, showcased us, why are Liberian women still in that mindset? It's all about the empress mindset. You are a woman. An empress is a woman of power, of divine power and rank. Your mindset is your attitude and behavior towards your journey. So therefore, no man, whether it be the president or whosoever, should intimidate you.
Thank you. The voice of my guest, Lina K. Fawaz there. There is a very attractive, very depressing word in Liberian politics called corruption. That
Yes.
word is Most is the most heard word in Liberian politics than anything, and women too have heard that word so many times. My
Mm-hmm.
question is, most women will think that when it comes to fighting corruption, they might want to trust a woman more because historically, Liberia have had male presidents who did not defeat corruption. And so when Ellen came in, it was this hope for women that at least corruption was going to be fought viciously. But Ellen did not win that war, and she described corruption as being vampire. And we are king. We are said, oh, we are all related, even though he said whatever corruption was going to be found, the law was going to take its course, thereby dashing women hope again in fighting this demon corruption. How do you feel now as a Liberian woman? Can you put your faith in any other woman or any other man as a woman in fighting corruption?
Well, corruption today has become a major force in our society.
Hmm.
And this is also going back to one of the questions we spoke about earlier.
Right.
Um, if your relatives are sitting in these positions of power and you're benefiting, if your father is sending you to England or America
Hmm.
and to the best schools, are you going to ask him, Daddy, did you steal this money or is this your salary? Or are you going to enjoy it?
Many people enjoy it. I have
Okay.
not.
Okay. I'm just trying to explain something here to you.
Hmm.
Okay. Now, my point I'm trying to make here is this is something that has been a major force in our society.
Exactly.
Um, I have I have yet to meet. I'm sorry to say this, other than Rachel Dennis, who
Hmm.
is the Liberian billionaire,
Right.
but this guy worked for it. I mean, he worked for it. Do you understand where I'm coming from?
Exactly.
So today, I'm in Beirut, Lebanon. The central bank governor in Lebanon,
Hmm.
Riyad Salemi, was born in Liberia. How does that sound? And he comes from a family that was in Liberia that, you know, I won't go into details. It's not fair to make assumption and to say things about someone if they haven't been in a courthouse and there's no court documentation. But they say what you live is what you learn. You understand? We had a revolution here
Hmm.
that tore this country to the ground, and now we have this coronavirus pandemic. The country is on a total shutdown. But let's go back to Liberian politics and Liberian women in politics. As far as the corruption, I can't say I will speak or I can speak because it's something that has been happening and it's been a continuation. It's like a curse. I don't know. You understand what I'm saying? It's a curse that's on this country because every single person that holds a government position has the automatic mindset. It's the entitlement. So today, to fight corruption, the only way forward is for these people to be prosecuted, for them to be brought to justice, and they should be served with due process.
They should be served with due process and using
Yes.
justice to fight corruption. In the words of my guest, yet I couldn't agree with you more. Until we use our laws, until we use justice as a tool for fighting corruption, all we do will just be nothing but a waste of time. Folks in cyberspace, my name is Anthony C. Hosting. This is the Hour of Politics. My guest is Linda K. Fawaz. We are discussing the role of Liberian women in politics. Folks, the phone lines are open. It is time for you to place your call and ask Lena a question if you so wish, or make your comment or any contribution you wish to make. To the Liberian women who are following us, it is your time. This is your time. This show is designated mainly for you, the Liberian woman, to speak or forever hold your peace. I'm not saying to you, man, do not call. I am saying call. And when you call, tell me what the role the women have to play in this politics. Do we need more of them? And can they be the one to hold that gavel? To be able to deliver us because we have had too many men. Liberia is still a slum. Maybe we need more women. I don't know. Call and tell me. That number is right on the screen. That number is 605 313 6004. and enter the code 791403, and you will be given the opportunity to participate. All right, Lena, I'll be right there. Let me read some comments here from my people who are following here. Mr.
Okay.
Alice Chuchujun writes, so is Nixon and Hitler. They are in the history books too, but for what? Not for something good, my friend. I can tell you that. Tavinanko writes, and your friend isn't savage? In my opinion, they are the same. They all are the same. Call spade a spade. Remove your bias lens. Maybe she was responding to somebody. All right, folks, get your comments rolling here. I just turned my phone on to be following the comments. So those that will send your comments earlier, I don't have all of them. I would gladly love to read them. I have a caller on the line, Lena. So hold on. Let me bring this caller in. Uh, caller, your name and where you joining us from.
Sylvina, am I loud enough? My name
You
is
are
Sylvina. I'm
loud
calling
and
from
clear
Brazil.
enough, Tavinan. Go ahead.
All right. I'm glad to be on the show. I have comments and then questions. I listened to your guest
Mm-hmm,
very keenly,
mm-hmm.
and I'm glad she said some of the things she said. These trigger my call. Otherwise, I probably would have listened for 10 minutes.
Okay.
Um, One thing I know, I listened to them briefly the other day, and something she said, and I guess both of them said, and she referenced that today again, was that the issue, the things that are happening in Liberia among Liberian women and the ability to excel into power or leadership, and I'm paraphrasing that, is our mindset
Mm-hmm.
and all of that. And I also listened to her intro when she mentioned that she's been out of the country. She's part of her most of her time she was in Europe and part of other places. So I can only imagine that she doesn't understand the culture over there. Because when you understand the culture that we have, the male dominant culture, and when you understand the patriarchy culture, then you will be saying that it is the mindset. It is not the mindset of the people. It's the lack of resources, the access to right resources and the awareness. And that's what's feeding some of these problems. When you look at past reports,
Mm-hmm.
including the most recent U.S. report, and that's one of my questions. I'd like to know if you ever read the most recent, the 2019 report, United States report on Liberia. Maybe if you have read it, the 26 or 20 less than 30 pages report, then you probably wouldn't be saying some of what you're saying right now because it goes back to the male dominant culture and some of the things we're saying here. When was the last time you ever pick up one of gender ministry reports to reference that? The most recent one, or 2018 or even 2019 report. You will see some of those things right there. So to dispel that myth, it has nothing to do with upbringing. It has nothing to do with mindset.
Okay.
There's a lack
Anthony,
of resources, lack of education. Can I speak? And then when I'm finished, you can talk. We can do. I'm wondering why either one of these gentlemen didn't bring me on this call or bring me as a guest. But this topic is near and dear to my heart, so we can do this. For this one, I have energy for three hours to do. But if you have look at all of that, you will understand that this is what it's all about. It has nothing to do with mindset and like I said, upbringing, like you guys referenced last
So,
time. Now the
Tavina, if
second
I
issue
may,
here,
Tavina,
yeah,
if I
go
may,
ahead,
if it is not
go
about
ahead.
mindset, then what it is?
Mm-hmm. What I said repeatedly is the lack of access to right resources,
Mm-hmm.
as well as which feeds into the lack of awareness and to reshape and reshape how people do things and open opportunities for them. It is
Okay.
not the mindset because if you make those economic resources available,
Mm-hmm.
definitely you are reshaping people. So it's not their mindset. It's not how they were grown or how they were raised. Like she mentioned before, both of them mentioned before, and she said again, it's the mindset. It has nothing to do with mindset. It's a lack of resources. They don't have the available economic resources to tap into, and so they're just living. And if we were in those situations, we'll be worse to them. and even here. So it has nothing to do with mindset and how we were raised.
So, Tavina, my final question before I let
So
you
it
go,
falls
comparing that with
well.
women
Hmm.
like
Go
you
ahead.
and many others of our sisters here in the United States and other parts of the Western world who have access to these kind of resources you are referencing, are they in any way
Hmm.
different from your observation from those on the ground in terms of their worldview, politics, and the way they look at things? Is it different?
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, women, a lot of women that have come here,
Hmm.
tap into the resources here,
Hmm.
mix themselves with the right kind of people.
Right.
They've done well because the atmosphere calls for them to try, unless you don't want to do it. But you can't compare here with Liberia. But the point I'm making here that is not, it has nothing to do with mindset or upbringing. It's a lack of economic resources, a lack of awareness, and all that ties together. So to say that it's because of that or because we lack self-esteem or because the way we're raised, that's why we let men dominate us. But the bottom line is that people have to understand, like Linda, she has to understand that we have a patriarchy culture, and that's what it is. It's a male dominance culture. You cannot, there's nothing you can do about it. You can try, yes, she said more than 10 times. Ellen, the first female president was elected, yes. That having that, it helps to break down that culture a little bit, but it didn't help as much because even her being there, it was just a little bit. It just tapping to it a little bit because you know what, the UN report that came out in 2018, it said that Liberia was ranking 107 out of 180 as far as gender issues. And again, if you go back to the most recent report, the United States report, all of that issues in there, and it's points to why women, even in leadership now, and I heard her speaking about that. That even told me that she didn't even reference the report or even past reports
All right,
to see that even in
Tavina.
the current leadership.
Hmm.
Just a minute, let me finish my thought. Please don't interrupt me.
Quickly.
Even in the current leadership, which she mentioned that is her friend, but when we friends with people, we need to speak the truth about them. How many women are in leadership in this current government, in the current government? Yes, I heard her say the worst things about either one of those women, which I'm not a fan of. But we need to speak to about all of them just about the same way. Judge Weir is just as terrible as the rest of them. So he's my friend. He's doing well. He's a good person. However, these women are the witches and all of that. That is unfair.
All
That is
right,
unfair. He is
Tavina.
not any better, and every one of you know that.
Yeah, Tervina, thank you, but I can't leave you without asking the question. I mean,
So
I am a little intrigued
please
about
continue to.
the way you're looking at it, and one thing I want to challenge you on is your
Is there a question
dismissing.
or a comment?
It is a question, but I have to leave my premise if you don't mind. You try to dismiss
Oh
the
no, no, I
issue
don't mind.
of, yeah, you try to dismiss the issue of upbringing. I'm a strong believer in that. It has impacted me as an individual, and so to this day, I'm not trying to make big. I've been in the United States. I've not been in trouble. It is about my upbringing. It's not only because of the loss. Yeah, as a child, I
But
was brought
upbringing
up.
as in what? As in what context you talking about?
I
As
mean, in
in
every
staying away
context,
from
you
trouble?
know what
Yes, those are
upbringing
my
is in
upbringing.
every context,
No,
but you are taking that out. That's what I'm
it's
getting
not a
from
one
you.
size fit all.
Hmm.
No, no, I'm not taking it all. What I'm saying is that it's not a one size fit all. You can say it's based on my upbringing. That's why, I'm thriving as a woman and this person is not thriving as a
Well, she
woman.
listed
It's
that
not the
as I'm not
upbringing.
defending
Because
her,
you
but
know
she
what?
listed that as one of the ingredients. She talk about mindset and upbringing, and that's what she was saying. But close. I would like to
But
have you
it's
to
not the
discuss.
mindset either way. It is, I disagree again. It's not the mindset, it's the upbringing.
All
It
right.
is the patriarchy culture that we find ourselves in.
Hmm.
It is a male dominant society,
Hmm.
and it's a lack of resources which makes it impossible for these women to tap into the resources or even build their self esteem and empower themselves. That's
Thank you.
what it is.
Thank you,
It's not a
Tavina.
one size fits all. It's based on what upbringing. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Tavina, and I would love to have you to discuss this since it's
Thank
something you
you.
care more about. Thank you for your call.
I wish you had invited me. Oh, absolutely. When you call, it's not call.
I
Thank
know.
you.
Thank you, Tavina. All right, let me come back to my guest here. Leonard, you just listened to the caller, Tavina. She is saying that, mindset, upbreaking, can be the factors for which women are not active and not playing a more participatory role, in governance and in other things. It's just because the society is a male domineering or dominating society. I'm sure you may not be happy with all that she said.
I'm not unhappy. She has a right to her opinion. I
Hmm.
know how I was raised, and I know how the woman who raised me was raised.
Hmm.
So I don't know. Maybe she has an allergy to rich people, and maybe she has an allergy to my confidence. Maybe she has an allergy to my manner. I mean, the way she even spoke, and the way she was even attacking me. You wait, miss. So obviously, this woman is angry, and I think if she wants to be a part of my Empress mindset, the first I think component I would recommend for her would be mental health, because in the manner which she spoke, nobody attacked anyone here. No one called anyone's name. Any name that was mentioned here, you being the host, you were addressing questions at me. And I mentioned, and I will say it again for every one of your audience and people listening, George Weah is not a politician. He's not a politician. Ellen Johnson is a politician. Jua Howard Taylor is a politician. So therefore, I can only look at this man and refer to him as a friend and a brother, because politics is a dangerous game, and it's a game that you have to be a master at. So all I can say right now to you is her attitude. I don't know who she's angry with. I don't know if she knows of me or she's heard of me.
And
And she mentioned that
Leonard,
I've been in Europe. So what does that
Leonard,
does
let
that
leave it
bother you?
there.
That
Let
I
let
don't
le- let
know. I'm just
let,
trying.
let leave it
Yeah,
there. Or I have been paying attention to you carefully, and you're not howling or shying away from, you know, looking at Joe. We are as a good man. Are you saying he doesn't share any of the problems we have at all?
I,
Is that
I don't say he doesn't share, and I don't say he shares. This is a man that took power 2 years ago without any political experience. He made two attempts at becoming president. He never lost, he was only denied. In the world, there's a system. And once that system does not welcome you or even want to bring you in, they will block you. So, therefore, I'm just trying to say that today, the people in these positions that had experience from previous, Ellen Johnson was in government at a very young age. She was in the finance ministry. Jewel Howard Taylor was first lady of Liberia at the age of 33, 34. She became the
are you
mother of a nation.
are you forgetting certain things about Weird? I'm glad you're pointing out Ellen's previous role, Joel Howard Taylor previous role. Joe Weir had previous roles in government before becoming president. So why are you leaving that out?
He had honorary roles. He didn't have roles where he was actually someone in the actual minister.
I disagree. A senatorial position is not
I mean,
it's not an
uh,
honorary role. It's not a
can
it's
I ask
not
you a question? I can ask you a question. I
yes.
don't want to sound disrespectful, and I definitely don't want to sound like I'm demeaning anyone. Um, you talk about the Senate and you talk about the House of Representatives in Liberia. Who
Yeah.
are these people?
They
I
are
mean, I'm not trying to
politicians.
disrespect them. They're okay. They're Liberian politicians.
They are
But have you looked at
politicians.
some of these people's backgrounds?
Well,
Have you
it
looked
is
at some
not
of
more about their
mm,
background now.
no? But I'm just saying,
You are mentioning
yeah.
the roles of Ellen previously as well as Joel, and on that basis, you are saying
Yeah,
they are
but can I
politicians.
say
But
something
no,
to
let
you
me
though?
learn now.
Can I
Let
say
me
so-
learn, Lena. Let me
can
learn.
I say something to you though?
Let me
I will not
learn.
allow you. I will not allow you. George Weah was senator of Liberia. Before he became senator of Liberia, George Weah was always giving back. Do you know how many children, how
Lena,
many
are you
people
here?
benefited from scholarships?
Are you here? I'm not talking about scholarships. We're talking about politics here. I'm not talking about, how he was giving scholarship. We heard that many years ago. I'm just saying, in as much
Mhm.
as you are able to talk about Ellen previous roles in government as a politician
Yes,
before becoming,
right. This man does not have a political background.
he has a political background, and we can
No,
talk that. The man has been a leader of a political party for so many years, since 2005.
I
You are
said to you,
telling me,
politics, no. And Anthony, let's not get into that. Politics has two roles. Either you coming in to impact,
You
empower,
can't win
or to
that
be a
debate. So
political signal.
let leave it right there.
No,
Joshua
I'm
has
just
been
telling
the
you,
political leader of citizen since 2005,
this man
and
is
you
an
want to tell
icon.
me
This
he's not a
okay,
politician?
okay, go
The
ahead.
man contested
Go.
for the presidency. two times, the vice president two times, and you are saying he served as a senator. He was appointed by Ellen Johnson Sirleaf to head an institution, and you are still saying he's not a
I'm not.
politician. Then I
No,
don't know
you're
who
not
a
understanding.
politician is.
No, no. Let me. For me, I'm not a CDC partisan.
I'm not
I'm
talking about
speaking as a
CDC. I'm just
patriot.
telling you
No, I'm just trying to explain to you.
we has
I'm not.
involvement
Okay.
into politics
Yes.
that qualify him as a politician and something that you don't want to say. Let's go to the phone lines. Yeah, I have a caller here, Mr. Kessley Double. I'm glad you called quickly to the issue.
Uh, Thank you very much, Mr. Ja, and thanks to your guest in
Thank you, sir.
studio.
Yeah,
Thank you, sir.
Yes, I've been sitting listening, but it seems to be that
Mr.
the
Jai is
caller on
not
the
here
other side is
today.
trying to
Kessley,
spoil the show.
Kezo, Mr. Jai is
I
not
mean,
here today.
see, I'm so sorry, my brother. I am so sorry. See, I'm so sorry. The
Yeah.
caller on the other side of the line is trying to make the show to look so bad and so ugly.
Mhm.
I hope you can get rid of us so we can continue our good discussion.
Go ahead.
Uh,
Thank you.
as it pertains to women into our Liberian society,
Right.
like your guest in studio is saying,
Hmm.
and I'm happy that she did not just limit it to education and environment
Right.
and upbringing,
Right.
because myself would not want to restrict that to upbringing, because
Hmm.
if it had to do with upbringing,
Right.
there were some people who came from very decent homes, very good background. The parents gave them everything they could give a child to
Right.
make them better in society.
Right.
And guess what? Today, they are the worst you can find out there.
Right.
So I don't want us to just restrict the upbringing.
Hmm.
Okay?
Hmm.
Like you said rightly, Liberia is a male dominated society, right?
Right.
And I also want us to go back to the education sector when we are trying to look at the male dominated society.
Hmm.
Let's compare our kids as boys. Here, you and I are in Liberia.
Hmm.
Go to the classroom. Compare the percentage of boys on an average level as compared to the girls when it comes to the learning process in Liberia.
Hmm.
You will notice that, with no disrespect to our women, I'm not being so disrespectful to them, but you'll notice that on the average level, you have more boys doing excellently well in class as compared to the ladies. If you find a class where you find the top students are maybe like all of the first 10 in a classroom, maybe you could find one girl or two, the most. Majority of them would be boys. So why it is feel that this discussion is important, what I think we can do is to see how best we can put more improvement, how we can be able to make more equipment or materials available educationally for the girls' children.
Hmm.
Make it competitive so that, they cannot be looked at in the classroom as just women.
Hmm.
They can be looked at as students.
Right.
When the instructor is grading, he can't say, because this is a girl child, I'm going to help her. I'll be a little bit soft on her and be hard on the board. No.
Right.
In that way, I think it would do that by making all of them to be equal students,
Hmm.
make them to study as equally as possible.
Right.
You will notice that such a discussion like this, when we are discussing it from that level,
Hmm.
it will get a little better. And if you want to discuss it on an equity level,
Hmm.
I mean, we'll come from the classroom. You and I come from the classroom. I can't do you in the classroom and then we'll come on a job field and you want to get a better job than me just because you are a lady. If we continue to do it that way and take it from that standpoint, we will notice that our girls will continue going backward, and we're going to keep saying the same thing that we are saying today.
Right.
We will be gone tomorrow. The
Right.
future generation will come out. They will keep saying the same thing.
Hmm.
So let's put things in place so that the education that the boys are learning in school, they both can be competitive when it comes to the classroom. When the instructor is grading those boys, the same way he's grading them, he should also grade the girls the same way. He shouldn't do it in a way that it will look like, he's being a bit lenient on the girls and he's being so tough on the boys, believing that with our African saying where we say the men will be the one to bring the breadwinner and the woman will be, that was then.
Kessley.
Let's try to put it in that level And let's
Kesali,
try to find means to improve our girls' education in Liberia. Yes, yes.
Kesali, you are making a fine point then, and that was one of the points Tavina was making, that access to resources. Let's look at it to get a better understanding of it in the U.S. If you look at education in the U.S., you notice that most of the women and girls are doing way too better because the access is here, and because of the fact that there are jobs available for women to compete, education as well, and women now are not only just sitting home, they are also income earners. So the women, to get a much better income, they are getting education. I know of women who bring in more money compared to their male counterparts here in the US. It started with access to
I
education
agree.
and then the availability of jobs. That's the point Tevina was making. Where I disagree with her, she was more so like it is what it is. Access, access, access. And all bringing mindset had nothing to do with it. Because her conclusion is that when you give them access to education and all of these things, their mindset will change. But in as much as they don't have access to these things, their mindset will change. And the issue of upbringing had nothing to do with it. And that way I have a little bit of disagreement there. I couldn't agree with your
No, no, no,
point
it
more.
does. It
Yeah,
does. It
yeah.
does.
Hmm.
It does. It
Yeah.
actually does. But what I'm saying that
Hmm.
it is not the only problem, you know.
Yeah.
It is not the only problem.
Okay.
You know, that's what I'm saying. So what we
Yeah.
can do is to see how best we can create more avenue for our girls, children back home,
Right.
so that they can be on par with the boys, and that we shouldn't be taken as they are the female and male. Let's consider every one of them as students,
Right.
and we can take it from that point. And I can show you that things can get better, and that we can be like other countries around the world too. Our girl children can be the same.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Kesali. Thank you for your contribution there. Let me come back to my guest here. My guest here is Lina K. Fawaz. Lina, let me read this for you and see if you can say something about it. Mr. Ellis Chuchujun writes, I think this feminism thing is sometimes overstretched and politicized. We have poor leaders, men and women, and we need to say that. There are several women in Liberia and around the world, including the Queen of England, in power. Women hold immense power in the world today, even in Liberia. Often it's the women who are doing the suppressing of other women in our society. Ellen
Thank
is
you.
an example. Your thoughts on that, Miss Fire?
But okay, I just want to just say something to you
Quickly, yeah.
before I even answer that, because
Hmm.
I don't know, your callers are a bit funny, because I don't know, what does the mindset have to do with what we're talking about here? I am introducing my platform. It's the Empress Mindset. Okay. And I don't even know if they were at the beginning of this interview where I explained what the Empress Mindset is about. The Empress Mindset is about empowering, promoting, uniting, and collaborating women. Okay.
Hmm.
Now, let me just make myself clear in 3 seconds. I don't know where these people are coming, attacking me, throwing me insults, and trying to act as though I'm talking about them being
No, no,
not
no one has
properly
insulted
raised.
you here.
No,
I
no, no, hold
disagree
on,
with
hold
that.
on.
No one
Yeah,
has
okay, but
insulted
just
you
try.
here.
Okay, what I'm trying to say here is,
Hmm.
why does the mindset matter? I mean, if you feel that your upbringing is 5 star, good for you. But today I have an organization that I've established, and when I hear these people speaking, it only makes me feel good about myself even more, because it's the same thing we're talking. We started this 3 days ago. We
Should
were
it
on
be
your
about
show.
you, Linda? Let's talk about
No, no,
women's role.
no, 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 no. Let me land. Let me land.
Mhm.
The mindset, if our attitude and behavior stays this way, how will we go anywhere? How will we go anywhere? Everybody won't have their way. Everybody won't insult people. Everybody won't say what they won't say. It's wrong. And this
I,
is why
I,
our
I
country is in
think I
trouble.
think everybody should say what they want to say. It may not be right, it may be
Okay,
wrong,
fine.
but they should have the right to say what they want to say.
That's fine, sir.
Yeah. Again, folks in
Okay.
cyberspace, you are watching Focus on Liberia. Let me read another point here. Tevinako writes here, please don't misinterpret my words. I said that those were not the only two reasons I mentioned repeatedly by your guest. Let me go to another comment here. Steve Watson, right? Everyone are politician in their own right. No one is born as a politician, my sister. All right. So you are, more like excluding we are, of
I'm not
not
excluding
being.
President Weah.
Uh,
I'm not excluding him, and I have
so my
no
question
reason
is
to
President we are a
exclude him.
politician or he's not a politician?
Children are politicians. My sister has two children. My brother has four. And when they want certain things out of their mother or their father, they play politics. Children are
But you said Joe
politicians.
Viera was not a politician. That's why you said here.
No, when I say he's not a politician, I mean that I don't think this man understood taking this job and looking to be president was what he expected of what is happening right now. This man looked at politics in Liberia from a totally different angle than where he finds himself today. When you take a job like president, you are put there to serve people. You're not there to come and enjoy yourself.
Mhm.
So I don't know how much more you want me to say to you. I'm not going to get on. I spoke about Mrs. Sirleaf. I spoke about Mrs. President, Vice President Taylor.
Mhm.
I'm not going to sit here and I'm just going to state fact of what my opinion is of these people. Like you said, everyone has a right to their opinion. I'm a very opinionated person and I'm very outspoken. I never said that when I said to you, this man doesn't know, he's not a politician, he doesn't know about Liberian politics. Knowing people, hanging out with people, befriending people is not Liberian politics. That's not where it ends. Today, this man has put himself in a big dilemma. Our country is getting poorer. The economy is completely crashed. Everybody is complaining. People are hungry. You have the rate of rape is getting higher and worse per day. I mean, I'm just trying to explain to you. I don't think this man calling himself president of Liberia knew exactly what he was getting himself into, and the people around him have not helped. So if that's what you wanted to hear, I made you hear it now.
It is not what I want to hear. It is
I mean,
what
I'm just
you
saying,
have to share, and that is
yeah,
your role as a guest. And I think you are doing
yeah,
okay. Again, folks,
yeah.
in
Okay.
cyberspace, this is Focus on Liberia. The program here is the Hour of Politics, and it is time for the women to speak, and we want the men to also join. The phone lines are open. I don't know why you are not making the phone calls. Let me see if I have another comment here. Tavinako, right? Laudable, you just reinforced my point previously made. Ellis Jones is saying, is he corrupt? One of my the viewers here is asking a question: is George we are corrupt?
Well, until he's taken to court by the Liberian people and the courts find him guilty and there has been due process, then
Mhm,
I can speak. But unless there's no accountability or proof of him
mhm,
being corrupt, I
mhm.
can't speak on that matter.
Okay,
Here,
so
you
you.
cannot speak on hearsay unless this man is taken to court
Mhm,
and there's due process
mhm.
and there's court documentation
Right.
that he has misappropriated or he
Mhm,
has done something that is unlawful.
mhm.
I, Linda K. Fawaz, cannot say George Weah is corrupt. The reason why I cannot say because there's no proof. There's just hearsay.
So what's your definition of corruption?
But wait a minute. My definition of corruption is when you actually catch somebody in the act and you've taken them to court and they have been punished and they have been served with a sentencing. This is what I call, that's when I would say, wow, this person was actually caught misappropriating, abusing, or in any way damaging state property. Then I would say, wow, that person was actually prosecuted for corruption. But other than that, listening to people's hearsay, I cannot go and say the man is corrupt.
All right. Thank you again, folks in cyberspace. Get your phone calls coming. I'm here to take them. You may have a question for my guest, and she will be more than willing to answer the question. Let me ask you this question. If we should take male politicians seriously, should we settle for female politicians as alternative? If yes, why? And if no, why not? If you don't understand, I'll repeat that. If
No,
we
I
should
understood
not,
it.
if we should not take male politicians seriously, should we settle for the female politicians?
Well, you're speaking to an empress of the empress mindset. So my
Mhm,
answer is definitely yes. Women tend to be more responsible
mhm,
if they are given positions of trust. Um, the very seldom women are in any way dishonest or in misappropriating government or donor funding.
mhm,
Women tend to be careful. spoiling their names because of their families and children.
Right.
Women are always more educated than our male leaders, bosses, employers, as we refer to them. Women have more pride in and dignity in themselves and are extremely conscious of their surroundings and their jobs that they are in.
Hmm.
And women and girls are going to create the future. And this is why you find that in most cases, women they don't bring them. The only way they can bring them down is through sexual scandals like this incident we spoke about 48 hours ago. You will find mostly when a woman is being attacked or whatever, they will use some kind of sex scandal to be able to corner her or bring her down and shame her.
Lena, I thought it's you, the women, who are being used to, set scandal men so that they can be taken out of political office. But now you're saying that women are the one
No,
who are
no, look
victim
at
of.
this one. No, no, no. I'm saying it happens on both sides. Look at
Okay.
Kamala Harris in America. She's
Hmm.
one of the strong supporters of Joe Biden.
Hmm.
The minute she was trying to express that she wanted to be a presidential candidate, they
Hmm.
brought out a sex scandal on her and they brought her down and she backed off. They said that, all these positions she held, she was the mistress of XYZ. I'm just trying to explain to you that we women do it to each other, but also men, when they're trying to break a woman, and all of these callers that have called in, I'm not trying to act like they don't have the right to their opinion. Are you really looking at me, Mr. Sie, and not believing that I'm not aware of how Liberia is a male dominant society? I know Liberia very
Oh,
well. I was born there.
I can never say that. It's a simple knowledge for
Okay,
anybody to know.
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right.
So,
Let me
I
take
mean,
this caller.
I was just saying, and
Hmm.
they didn't hear me,
Hmm.
that even though the society is set up in the manner in which it's set up,
Right.
you understand where I'm coming from.
Right.
But we today have an opportunity because we elected the first woman to lead in Africa
Hmm.
to tell these men that, look, we are just as equal and we are just as competent and even probably more than y'all. You're not coming to step on us. This is all I'm saying. I'm not trying to attack or put anyone down. I'm just saying how I feel and the way I view it.
Thank you. Thank you. Let me take my caller here, Mr. Dave Jav. Welcome to the Hour of Politics. Are you ready to play hardball?
I'm ready to try. How are
Oh,
you doing, sir?
I'm doing well. I'm glad you called. How the family?
We're doing well. We're still in our seclusions, but
Okay.
we
And
cannot continue to hold on the black man because I don't care how well this coronavirus tried to suppress us. We are still challenging and going against the odds and going outside.
that
We
is good.
have a service
Yeah,
to the
that
people.
it's good to hear that you are doing quarantinely well. Strictly to the issues. We got some business here.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you so much for letting me come in.
Hmm.
Um, Something I wanted for your guest to address about this issue of, I don't know whether it is an excuse that we try to give for people is that, oh, this person is not a politician and this other one is a politician. What I'd like to know is, what difference does it make whether a person is a politician or not? Does it have to do with whether you're a politician or you are leading? Because you don't necessarily have to be a politician to lead, to deliver. So, what is the essence of that? What is the significance of someone being a politician or not a politician? Does any of them have to do with real, substantial, or substantive leadership? I think that's what should be our focus instead of whether this person is a politician and this other person is not. It all has to do with delivery. Can that person lead, whether he's a politician or not? So I would like for your guest to clarify that as to
Thank you.
if Joshua were a politician, could we make a difference?
Thank you. Thank you. Linda, I think that's a good point he made there and a good question too.
And I will answer him
Hmm.
to the best of my ability.
Hmm.
First of all, in order to show or to prove that you are a leader, you got to lead yourself.
Hmm.
One.
Right.
And I think everyone is blowing this thing a little out of proportion. And I'm only simply saying this man was not someone that had a broad knowledge of how Liberian politics is done. This man had a few opportunities to be in the political arena. He made it to become senior senator of Montserrat. That was his first real political platform to say that he was representing a constituency. Today, with everything that is going on there and what is happening, what has happened in the last 2.5 years, I can't speak for the president. I can't say that I've had a discussion with him concerning this issue because I'm not authorized and I don't have that kind of access or even the ability to discuss these type of things with him. I'm not in his government. But what I will say to you, looking at where we are and where the country is at, this man lacks leadership. He's not someone that is able to lead a country. And today, I would only say it's because of not having political experience. So I apologize if anybody here listening or calling in thinks that I'm trying to protect President Weah. I am not a seditious, and I'm not speaking as a partisan. I'm speaking as a patriotic person, and I'm a patriot, and Liberia is my country. I love Liberia. So please, everybody, let's try to stick to the Empress mindset and to women in the Liberian politics. I don't want to make this discussion about President Weah. I want to stay away from this politics because it was something that just came in and I mentioned it, and I will apologize again. I regret even mentioning it because I was misunderstood, and I've had people
Lena,
calling, sending me messages, and I don't want to get into this.
Leonard, we are all mature adults. We are talking about our country. Anybody who is in political leadership, it is our right as citizens. They are running our country, and they should do it to our happiness. That's what they need to do. We have to raise this question. But Dave's question was, what difference does it make if this person is a politician or not? And his point is, I thought we're looking for a leader who will deliver. Politician, non-politician, if the job is being done, that's what the people care about, and that's what we should care about. So he was like, okay, you are saying Weah is not a politician in the true sense of what you know politician to be in Liberia. He's not. That's a fair point. I agree with that. All right. But does he have to be a politician to be able to do the job? And that's why he's saying.
Uh, Mr. C, I'm
Mhm.
just trying. What is the caller's name? Mr. Anthony?
No,
What's his
Dave.
name?
Dave Ja.
Dave.
Yeah.
Dave Ja. What I'm trying to explain here, this man has no clue. The country is in a lot of trouble. I worked in government, and I was young, and I know what it means to represent a country. I traveled internationally. I sat with high-powered people as a Liberian national working in government. I cry for Liberia. I pray for Liberia because a lot of these people who are newly in government, they don't even understand what type of negativity is out there. I know a lot of people. I'm highly political. I have a network of diplomatic friends. I hear things. I get phone calls. I get messages. I'm hurt. I feel bad, but it will not stop me from loving my country, and it will never stop me from defending my country.
And you shouldn't
Today
stop.
we are, yeah, I mean, it's sad, it's disappointing, but I also feel that, I know he came to power. There were people that believed in him, and, he became the political leader of a party in Liberia. But I also think he was misguided because a lot of these people are coming from backgrounds. Again, we go back to the Empress mindset where everybody will start cussing. Your upbringing, which is your attitude and behavior towards your journey, and your
And
caller before that mentioned
Leonard,
yes, sir,
I'm going to hold you
yes.
accountable here. No one insulted you here. You're saying that for the second
No,
time,
no. I
please.
mean, I'm
You
just
were
okay.
not
No, let me
insulted
just
here.
okay. Let me just say something.
Hmm.
He mentioned that a lot of rich people have children that they send abroad or they do good things for, and they turn out to be nothing. That's everywhere. That is everywhere.
Hmm.
Everywhere.
That is a
That is
fact.
not
Yep.
even. That is a fact.
Hmm.
I mean, I come from a Lebanese man who came out of a store in UN Drive and made himself and became one of Liberia's #1 loggers. Opened offices in top European cities to sell Liberian logs. I'm just trying to give you a scenario. My mother grew up humble. Both my parents didn't have an opportunity of education. And when they acquired wealth, they empowered us, they educated us, sent us to the best of schools. And today, if you meet both my parents, humble, humble, humble. My mother owns so much prime property in Liberia. And my parents' home alone, where I stay when I'm in Liberia, I mean, you won't believe that my mother sits in her yard under a
All
plum
right,
tree
Lena,
where the whole community. No, no, wait,
let,
let
let
me
leave your
let me
life out
land.
of this. Let
Let
leave
me
your life
no
out of
no
there.
no
You
no
are a
no no
private
no no
person.
no no.
No,
I
I
will
no.
land.
Yeah,
I
but
will
let leave
land
your
because
life
these
out of
people are
this.
attacking me. Then
No
let's
one
end
is
this talk.
attacking you,
Let's end it.
Linda. No one
Yes.
is
No,
attacking
no. Let
you.
me say what I have to say because
Yeah, but
everybody
it
is
is
coming
not
after
about
me that
you,
I'm
what
trying
you
to say the
have, what your
behavior is
family
not
have.
good.
That's not what the show is about.
No,
It's
no, no,
about
no, no, no,
politics in
no. I
Liberia.
will explain who I am. I will explain because I will now accept these insults from these people. They're
You
trying to make
continue
it
to
seem
say
as
you're
though
being
I'm saying
insulted.
my
Linda,
behavior is
stop
not good.
saying that. You are
My
not being
behavior is not
insulted
good. But
here.
what does mindset have to do with behavior?
No one is
What is
insulting
mindset?
you, and you said that for the third time. I'm continuing to tell you, you have not
No,
been
no, no, but
insulted
no, no,
here.
no. The thing that's annoying me with you is you think I'm going to sit here for people to misunderstand me, and I will
And
sit there
it
like
is
a
people's
buffoon
right that
and
the
nod
people
my
right
head.
to
No, I'm not
misunderstand
going to do
you.
that.
When people
No,
misunderstand you, what's wrong with that?
no, 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 no. Let me say this to you. A lot of people tend to misunderstand people and they let them slide.
And
Nobody
it's
slides.
humor.
I
You're
let
not going to
nobody go
fight
free.
everything.
I let nobody go free. Nobody goes free. So you will not interrupt me. Oh, I want to hear about your life. I will hear about who I am. I am who I am.
You know, I didn't bring you on the
And
show
that's
to
it.
talk about your life. No, that's not why I
Well,
invited you.
guess what? Well,
No, I didn't invite you here to
for
talk
me, I
about
will
your
talk
life,
about my
Lena.
life because I will not let people come misunderstand me to make it seem as
And
though
it's
I'm saying that they
okay.
don't have good
It's
education
okay.
or good
We
behavior.
all been
What is this?
misunderstood before, Lena.
What is
It's
this?
okay.
What is this?
What is what?
Empress mindset. Now all of a sudden, oh, I don't agree with you. Your mindset, what your attitude, your behavior. Look at the attitude
All
and
right,
behavior of these
Lena,
people
let's
when it
leave it
comes to
there. Let me read some
what
comments
is
from
this?
my callers here. Let me
What
read
is that?
some comments from my caller here.
Nonsense.
Joseph Momba, right?
Nonsense.
Did you
Nonsense.
did you say nonsense?
I mean, it's like nonsense how people
You are on a
misunderstand other
reputable
people.
platform here, Lena.
And no, no. Oh yeah, and
All
I'm a
right.
reputable woman as well.
All right. Let me read comments from my callers here.
Yeah.
Joseph Momba, right? So, Lena, you don't have common sense? Joshua is stealing all this. He put this, let's say, all day, and you cannot say he's corrupt. You are one of Liberia problem. Mr.
Oh
Ellis
really?
Jones
Okay.
writes.
No
Mr. Ellis
problem.
Jones writes.
And you must
Disagree,
have me on
Lena.
camera stealing.
Can you allow me to read my comments, please?
Really, the man saw me on camera stealing with George Weah, though he can say that I don't have common sense.
Alex Jones, right? Disagree, Lena. Not true. More men are brought down for sex scandal in America than women. You are simply wrong. Tavina Co, right? With all the documentary evidence on hand, isn't that not enough to make that determination? Do we need a quote on this? Those are just few comments there. Again, folks in cyberspace, Lena, I don't want you to get offended. I didn't bring you here to talk about your personal life. I know I allow you to make reference to it, but you are going down, and that's not what is for. I don't want your personal life to be the subject or the focus of this conversation. All right, folks. Let me see if I have a phone call here quickly. Okay, I don't have one. Leon, I think we have exhausted the questions. You've been so excellent, but it seems that you were now a little bit patient with my guests. Yeah, this is the hour of politics. Politics get heated, Leonard. So when you come, you got to allow people to speak, just as they allow you to speak. So,
Mhm.
anything that we didn't touch that you want to talk about?
Nothing.
All right. So, and at this time, we will get your closing statement. So we have been discussing the role of women in politics. So
Hmm.
I can't let you go without speaking to allowing you to speak to women, the Liberian women directly, uh, in or out of politics. But politics affect them all. So speak to
Hmm.
them, give them some hope, give them some courage, motivate them. Use the emperor mindset of philosophy and talk to our women for your closing, Lena.
Well, I think I will say to them in the next few months, if
Mhm,
this coronavirus goes away,
mhm,
um, I think there's elections to be in October,
Right.
and even October, not just October, but for the 2023.
Hmm.
I think they should use the goals of the Empress mindset, which is promoting, uniting, collaborating, empowering one another. If there's a woman in the race in any of these positions, they should definitely put their support behind her, and they should make sure she wins, and they should not give their votes to someone who would probably um, silence their voice and leave them uneducated with no justice. I would also say, your vote is your greatness and your power. And as far as I'm concerned, I keep saying this: women must come out and take the lead because the future needs them. Our country needs them. Our children need them for a better life and future and a greater Liberia. And I will also say, in a quote that I love from Nelson Mandela, that for every woman or girl who is violently attacked, we reduce our humanity. So we're very important to society. And today, women have an opportunity in our republic to stop this intimidation and stop feeling in any way scared to speak out. We have a platform that was prepared for us. I realized that there's tradition. It's men dominate in Liberia, but at the same time, if we continue this, we will continue to stay behind, and the men will continue to lead and to control us. So I would say to my Liberian sisters and any other woman listening to me, the time is now, and we women and girls will definitely be the change for the future. Thank you so much, Anthony CA,
Yeah.
and I appreciate it, and it was nice being on your show.
Lena, I can't emphasize enough how appreciative I am, and also did network to have you honoring our invitation to talk about the role of the Liberian woman in politics. I just want you to know that that's what politics is. When people come around to talk about politics, emotion come out, and that's okay.
Mm.
And that is totally okay. And only until we do that, by talking about the elephant in the room, we are not going anywhere. You
Mm.
came here as a guest, you answered the tough questions, and we are more than happy. Your closing
Mm.
statement, what I got from your closing statement was woman or the woman is very
Mm-hmm.
important. And I want to agree with you. And I can even want to say that is an honest statement because I know I'm here today because of a woman. Women play a very important role in our lives, all of us.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
so that is why this subject was more than important to talk about women roles in politics because politics affect us greatly, especially in our country, Liberia. And you could not have been that excellent guest to talk about this topic. You did what I expected you to do. I'm proud of you as a Liberian woman, a strong woman,
Thank you.
and
Thank you.
continue to do what you're doing at Emperor Mindset. Um, Whatever happened, the challenge you receive here from the callers, are meant to challenge you more
No.
to do more because
Challenge me.
when we all do more, then we will get the more we want for our country. And that
Mr.
is
CA.
all I can say to you. Hold on, let me bring in this caller here quickly.
No, I want to say one thing to you. They when this election went into a second round, they took this whole process to court. So these people who have an issue with President William, go to Liberia and file a lawsuit. You're Liberians, it's your right.
Can I take my
But I
caller?
don't.
Can I
It's
take my
just
caller?
petty.
Uh, Caller, quickly to the issue. You have 1 minute.
Okay, Mr. C, this is Batula Gizi from Philadelphia.
All right, quickly
Mm.
to the issue, my brother.
Uh, yeah, I'm using my earpiece. I'm not clear. Just to let you give me an idea. I'm not. Do you have any echo there? I'm okay to talk.
Yeah, no echo. Go ahead.
So yeah, okay. Anyway, I want to thank you very much. I also you are guesting there. Actually, I don't have a question for her, but I just wanted to maybe give you leave one or two premises on, the
Hmm.
topic you had it because I joined lately.
Hmm.
But for what I be hearing,
Hmm.
I think you are talking about why women empowerment into politics, right?
Yeah, we're talking about the
Why
women's
women
role
are
in
not.
politics. Yeah, women's role in politics.
Yeah, okay, yeah. So what I was have started few things here.
Hmm.
Uh, my opinion is that the reason why perhaps the women, are not engaging in the politics whole lot is because number one, they don't seem to have a real strong women organization. And the women, we have a lot of educated women in Liberia, but they don't seem to support one another. Like for instance, if a female is running for a position, you don't see a lot of women supporting that particular female. Take for example, like in the case of our vice president, you can imagine how many times she has been complaining. How many times have you seen even women coming out and say, "Oh no, this is a female. This is the first time we have the vice president, what have you," and she's complaining about certain issues. So let us find out as ladies, speak on her behalf, or let's investigate why she should be treated this way.
Hmm.
Nothing that of stress is happening. And another thing is that you know the women, they don't seem to have interest in politics. I just don't know what is the reason. They don't seem to have interest in politics. For example, you look at every during election time, we had a few women, coming out to say they want to contest against the men. You always see most of the times men coming in and they come in at the background to support the men instead of them coming forth to participate in the political position.
Hmm.
That's one of the reasons. Then I also want to talk a little bit about corruption that you mentioned about today.
Right.
Uh, the reason corruption is being a big culture in Liberia is that, in my opinion,
Hmm.
number one, my brother, we don't have a standard set for jobs. In Liberia, we don't lay emphasis of qualification, academic background, and what have you. So as a result, because we don't have this, every individual just feel that they can become what they want to be. Say, for example, I know you know the musician they call Takunje. Can you imagine a musician was came to us to be for representative position? Can you imagine? But because we don't have standard, we don't lay out these things for our various jobs. Everybody just feel that they can, get into any position and do what they feel they're doing. So as a result, the country is going backward because qualified individuals are not getting into the job. We don't elect people or we don't have a concept or electing people. It is by liking someone like what have you.
Thank you.
Today you see people engaging in political activities.
Hmm.
They don't have any background.
Thank you.
So if you don't you I know that politics is a profession.
Hmm.
It's not something that you can just grab somebody from somewhere and become a politician.
Yeah.
But today in Liberia, I mean everyone just feel that they can become a politician overnight. So as a result, then when the person get in there, they don't know the functions or what they're supposed to do, so they will not be able to deliver.
Thank you.
Mr. C, if you are not a nurse, yeah, if you are not a nurse, you will not know how to prescribe medication for somebody. You will not know about medication because you never went to medical school to learn about medication or what have you.
Thank you.
So
Thank you.
just wanted to give these few tips.
Thank you. Thank you, my brother.
All
Thank
right,
you.
thank you.
Thank you for your participation there. I appreciate that. Again, folks in cyberspace, this is how we will come to the end of our broadcast. Linda, again, we can thank you enough for honoring our invitation here. We applaud
Thank
you.
you.
And if we should have the opportunity to get back to you again, we'll do that. Thank you for the work you're doing at Emperor Mindset. On that, folks, on that note, folks, this is how we'll draw down the curtains. My name is Ansolin Sie, and my guest has been Miss Linda K. Fawaz, the all powerful from the Empress Mindset. That will do it. This music is taking us home. Stay safe, protect yourself and your family. Coronavirus is real, and bye bye.
We are Liberian. Liberia is our home. Liberian people. Ilẹ̀ ìrètè àwìwọ́n. Liberia o. Ilẹ̀ ìrètè àwìwọ́n. Liberia mi Liberia.